This is Daron, K1DBC. All stations please stand by. The Denver Radio Club Learning Net starts in 5 minutes.
W0TX repeater.
Hello everyone here on the YouTube stream. As you join here, welcome. We'll be watching a few minutes of this video here. NASA 2024, onward and upward, and we'll get the net started.
It's a new day in space exploration. As we sail on this new cosmic sea, there's so much to learn. There's so much to be excited about. American companies will soon land payloads on the moon for the first time. These missions are really challenging and risky. They're going to help us conduct new science.
Artemis is different from anything humanity has ever embarked on before. And we will discover life-saving, earth-changing science and technology along the way.
We're delving deep into what science can be achieved by humans working together with robotic capabilities and future infrastructure to support a long-term human presence at the moon.
The main purpose of the International Space Station is to perform science.
The fact that we'll have two companies able to provide the opportunity to reach low Earth orbit, but it'll change the way we look at how we fly to space.
The more we learn about the Earth and the more we understand the processes that affect it, the better we can plan for the future.
The needle-nose jet, the X-59, it will revolutionize the aviation industry. We will show what is possible when we dare to reach distant cosmic shores.
And we are in total solar eclipse, and this is absolutely breathtaking.
Onward and upward.
A commercial resupply mission to the space station, preparing to make a delivery to the moon, and monitoring our changing Earth from space. A few of the stories to tell you about this week at NASA. On January 30th, a Northrop Grumman Cygnus cargo spacecraft launched to the International Space Station atop a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. 2 days later, the Cygnus, loaded with 8,200 pounds of scientific investigations and cargo, safely arrived at the station. This is Northrop Grumman's 20th commercial resupply services mission to the space station for NASA. NASA partner Intuitive Machines will use the company's Nova-C lunar lander to carry a variety of NASA science and technology demonstrations to the moon's South Pole region for the benefit of all. The IM-1 mission, which is
This is K1DBC, the DRC Learning Net will start in 1 minute. All stations please stand by.
part of our CLIPS initiative and Artemis campaign, is targeted for launch from our Kennedy Space Center during a multi-day launch window, which opens no earlier than mid-February. The NISAR Earth Observing Satellite mission is a joint effort between NASA and the Indian Space Research Organization that will deepen our understanding of deforestation, shrinking glaciers and sea ice loss, natural hazards, climate change, and other global vital signs. The satellite's advanced radar system will monitor motions of the planet's surface down to fractions of an inch, along with changes in other characteristics. NISAR is expected to launch from India in early 2024. NASA's 2024 spinoff publication features many commercialized technologies that use NASA research and development expertise to impact everyday lives. From squishy robots that can be sent into dangerous situations before first responders
All right, thanks for watching on here. A couple of videos from NASA 2024 onwards and upwards. I think onwards and upwards, and as well as This Week at NASA. So check that out. This is Daron, K1DBC. Welcome to the Denver Radio Club Learning Net for February 7th, 2024. It's a great place to learn about ham radio and STEM topics. And generally, and in general, and thankfully we have plenty of combined experience and expertise. Again, this is K1DBC, Kilo 1 Delta Bravo Charlie. My name is Daron, and I am this evening's net control. Tonight we'll be taking your check-ins, comments, questions, updates, and more. We meet every Wednesday except the third Wednesday of the month at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time on 145.490 and 448.625. Both have a negative offset. You can contact us via email, Elmer at w0tx.org, most social media at Denver Radio Club. So that's to include youtube.com/Denver Radio Club. You can view a live stream of these nets and past meetings. Also on our club website, w0tx.org, under the officers, staff, and volunteers, you can see more contact information if you'd like to get a hold of someone. This net can be broken at any time for emergency or priority traffic by using the word break. Is there any emergency or priority traffic at this time? All check-ins to the net will be taken in alphabetical groups based on the first letter of the suffix of the operator's call sign. The suffix is the first letter after the number in the call sign. If you can, please try to use I2 phonetics for the call sign at least, and indicate if you have any traffic or questions as you check in. You can also follow along with who's checked in at w0tx.org/check-in. If your suffix begins with the letters A through M, Alpha through Mike, please check in now.
Whiskey 0 Alpha Whiskey Sierra, Albert in Westminster, no traffic.
November 0 Echo Yankee Zulu, Jim, no traffic at this time. Kilo 0 Lima Alpha India, K0 LEI, Larry in Lakewood.
Hey, good evening, Robert. I'll get you checked in here. This is K1DBC Net Control. We'll hold up there for just a moment. I'd like to welcome and acknowledge the following check-ins: W0AWS Albert, N0EYZ Jim, K0LAI Larry, and then online we had Robert, K0RAP. Thank you all so much for checking in. Once more, if your call suffix begins with the letters A through M, Alpha through Mike, and you'd like to check in, please call now.
WD0 CIB, WD0 CIB, Charles in Denver, no traffic.
Kilo Foxtrot 0, Foxtrot Papa India, Ron in Lakewood, no traffic.
W0TX Repeater.
November 0 Delta India Sierra, Doug, Denver, no traffic.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Hold up there for a moment. All right, I'd like to welcome and acknowledge the following check-ins: WD0CIV Charles, KF0FPI Ron, and N0DIS Doug. Thank you all so much for checking in. We'll move down the alphabet here. If your call suffix begins with the letters N through Z, November through Zulu, and you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Learning Net just for the count, or if you have any comments or questions, please call now, N through Z.
Alpha Echo Zero Yankee Romeo, in Nevada, no traffic.
Sam, no traffic.
November Zero, Tango Romeo Papa, Jim in Lakewood. Good evening.
Alpha Bravo 8, Whiskey November, Pete in Arvada, no traffic.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Hold up there for just a moment. I'd like to welcome and acknowledge the following check-ins. AE0YR Ed. So I'm sorry if I missed Doug. N0DIS Doug. AE0YR Ed. KF0ORQ Sam. I think there was a double in there, but I did get you both in there. And then we had N0TRP Jim and AB8WN Pete. Thank you all so much for checking in. Another call, if your call suffix. This is Daron, K1DBC. This is the Denver Radio Club Learning Net. Great place to learn about ham radio and STEM topics in general. We have plenty of combined experience and expertise. We're taking call suffixes. The suffix is the letter after the number in the call sign. N through Z, November through Zulu. If you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Learning Net just for the count, or if any comments or questions, N through Z, please call now.
Kilo Echo Zero, Sierra Uniform Mike, Jonathan, Lakewood.
Alpha Echo Zero, Romeo Kilo, Fred in Denver.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I'd like to welcome and acknowledge the following check-ins here. Let me drop for a moment. AB8WN Pete. Sorry if I missed that one before, but then we also had KE0SUM Jonathan and AE0RK Fred. Thank you all so much for checking in here. All right, we'll open up the whole alphabet. We're taking all call signs. All call suffixes let us know your call sign, your name, and if you have any traffic or questions, please call now. Once more, we're taking all call signs, all call suffixes. If you'd like to check in just for the count, or if you have any traffic or questions, we're taking all call signs, all call suffixes. Please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Really appreciate everyone who's checked in here so far. This is an hour-long meeting. We have another 50 or so minutes to discuss ham-related activities, projects, things that you've been working on, questions you might have, follow-up from past nets. I can certainly bring up a few stories. There's definitely a few upcoming things we can talk about, and some club-related things and whatnot. But I'll throw it out to the group. Anyone else at the moment in your comments, questions, check-ins, anything else so far for this evening's net, please call now.
Okay, this is N0EYZ. I got a question.
All right, sounds good there, Jim. N0EYZ. The net is yours. Go ahead.
Trying to update the firmware on a Yaesu radio with Windows 11, and all the things I've found with instructions are with Windows 10, and there's enough change in it, I'm not getting anywhere on transferring the extracted files to an SD card. If anybody's done any of that, I'd like to hear about it. Actually, if you have actual experience doing it, that would be great. I'd like to know how to do it.
All right, great question there. This is a K1 DBC net control. Hey, Ben, I'll get you checked in.
Silence is deafening.
No worries. So what model of Yaesu was that?
Yeah, I got a couple of it, FTDX101D and FTDX10. So they both use the same process. They just use different firmware. But the process with Windows 11 is the same exactly. I've looked at both of them on Facebook and everywhere else I can find, and no joy there.
All right, this is K1 DBC net control. I just want to welcome Ben online, KF0NAT, for checking in online. Really do appreciate that. Yeah, I'm not too sure on that for you there, Jim. Is it actually updating the software on the radio that you're trying to attempt, or you're trying to migrate, basically just use the radio within Windows 11 and the Yaesu software? What's the hang-up? Go ahead.
Hang-up is downloading Yaesu's firmware updates. They had a new one in 10.23, and downloading it off their website to a SD disk and extracting a zip file and putting it into an SD card is where the hang-up is. It's not quite the same as Windows 10 when I went to a new computer with Windows 11. So I'm kind of stuck.
All right, gotcha. This is a K1 DBC net control.
W0TX repeater.
All right, yeah, according to them, yeah, you just pop in a fresh SD card or any SD card into the radio. You format it using their format function and the extensions. You could probably format it in Windows if you're familiar with that, maybe to FAT32, and then it looks like you download the zip file. Let me drop here for a moment.
Well, you format the SD card in the radio, and where I'm getting hung up is transferring the unzipped files to a SD card. I guess it's more a computer problem than a radio problem. Over.
All right, gotcha. Yeah, I know Windows 11 changed things a little bit in how it looks a little bit, but hopefully some of these low-level memory card type settings and things like that shouldn't be too much different between Windows 10 and Windows 11. Hopefully just copy the files. Let's see, it says copy the file directly under the FTDX10 folder. Yeah, you put the SFL file into the FTDX10 folder, I guess, for that one specifically. Yeah, so I'm not too sure what the issue is, but if anyone has any information on updating Yaesu's firmware via Windows 11, let us know.
AB8WN.
AB8WN got you in there. A little quiet, but if you want to go ahead, go right ahead.
Yeah, I was being a little quiet. I think I need to be louder into the mic. So the question I have is, when you put the SD card on your computer, is it popping up when you go to like the file manager? Are you actually seeing the SD card show up as a drive, or is it not even doing that when you plug it into your computer? Back to net.
It's a file, and you dump the unzipped file from the computer into the SD card, and then you just pop it into the radio and update your files. I'll call EAC tomorrow and see if they can give me some support. So thanks for your thoughts. But been there, done that. Got the T-shirt to prove it.
Yeah, no worries. This is AB8WN, and if you need some extra help, you can always reach out to me too, and I can see if I can help on the side if you can't help you. Just reach out. I'm in the roster for the group. Otherwise, it's my call sign at or AB8WN at ab8wn.org or AB8WN at w0tx.org, and I can see you set up a meeting and help out. I'd be willing to do that if you can't help you. AB8WN back to net.
Okay, appreciate that. Thanks a lot. Back to net.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Awesome. Thanks for that, AB8WN. Thank you so much for your help there, and also thanks so much for all the help in general with the club and in technical aspects. It's really awesome to see. So yeah, as mentioned, Jim, there, AB8WN at w0tx.org or at ab8wn.org as well. So yeah, hopefully we can maybe remote into your computer, looking and what's going on, and hopefully get it straightened out. It should be fairly simple with if it's just a SD card issue. So really appreciate that.
Okay, one of the things I really wanted to get was there's an update on the menu system, and it has one button you can press, and it sets up most of your parameters for FD8 automatically. So I want to get into that. So I'll keep looking. Thanks a lot, NZ, where he was, Ed Clear.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, let us know. Hopefully you can get up on FT8 and get that working. I know with the Yaesus, you have to set some of the sideband information and a couple things. I forget at this point, but yeah, really cool to hear. I just also want to say we had a couple check-ins online. Really do appreciate that. We had from the UK, I believe, 2E0REE Andy, and then we also had N0MTL Micah check in. Thank you all so much for checking in here. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Good question there so far. Yep. Yeah, Windows 11 looks a little bit different, and some of their settings are a little bit different, but hopefully we can get things straightened out there. So don't be afraid of upgrading if you're being forced to, but I'm still definitely on Windows 10 for everything, and I'll be staying on that for quite a while now. So this is K1 DBC Net Control. I guess I'll just take a moment to take check-ins. You're tuning into the Denver Radio Club Learning Net. Great place to learn about ham radio STEM topics in general. We had plenty of combined experience and expertise. We just had another check-in online. Bob, WA4MBG, got you checked in there. So at this point, we'll take check-ins. If you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Learning Net just for the count, or if you have any traffic or questions, please call now.
Kilo Mike 4, Charlie Foxtrot Tango, Jonathan in Highlands Ranch, no traffic.
All right, net control likely. Welcome. Acknowledge the following check-ins. KM4 CFT. Jonathan, thank you so much for checking in here. One more call at the moment. We'll take check-ins throughout the net, but if you'd like to check in now, just for the counter, if you have any comments or questions, we're taking all call signs, all call suffixes. Please call now. All right, nothing heard at the moment. We'll throw it back out to the group. I certainly can bring up a few stories. There's some upcoming Hamfests, Swap Fest, things like that. We could talk about some news articles that have been posted up on our website, care of Mark Thomas. Awesome to see that. We could talk about a roundtable that just came out. But anyone else, any comments, questions, check-ins so far for this evening's net, please call now.
KE0SUM, comment.
Yeah, Jonathan, KE0SUM, the net is yours. Go ahead.
Hey, Drone, I've known you a long time, and always like to talk to you, but this was what got me recently. Was Kenwood released a new handy talkie, an HT, the THD75A, and Kenwood hasn't really done much in some years for a number of reasons with anything. So we finally got them in the Denver store, and they're now sold out. People really wanted this. The thing that got me is when I got my tech license, I bought a Baofeng UV5R. Still in the drawer. It was $25. This radio goes for $749.95 before tax. And I found that amazing. Most expensive handheld I've ever looked at. KE0SUM, back to net.
All right there, Jonathan, SUM. Thanks for bringing that up here. I got to check in here. N1GUM, Peter got to check in there. Yeah, absolutely. That is highway robbery. I have no idea. $750 for tri-band. You get 140, 70 centimeter, 2 meter, and then you also get 220 megahertz, 1.5 meters. It has APRS built into it, D-Star. USB-C. I wonder where the cost the justification of that cost really comes in, because these are all certainly. It also has Bluetooth in it, but this is nothing that you might not see out of a much cheaper HT. So yeah, I wonder if you have any other follow up on that, or what people's interest is on that. Go right ahead.
Yeah. Well, I threw it out. The group, I respect this group of people, and wondered what everybody else thought. So, come on, guys, tell us something. KE0SUM, back to net.
Comment KM4 CFT.
All right, thanks there, SUM, Jonathan, and then we had CFT in there. And for anyone asking in the YouTube chat, that's certainly not something I'll be subsidizing or handing out here, but if you get one, let us know. So this is K1DBC. We had Jonathan, KM4 CFT in there. Go ahead.
This is KM4 CFT. Yeah, I saw about that too. I don't know if... I definitely agree with you. I do think it's kind of a bit expensive. It's not terribly more expensive than the ID52 though, the ICOM sells, which is what I use, which is my daily driver, the one I use the most. It's my favorite. But I guess the fact that you have D-Star and APRS is pretty useful, and a lot of people want that. And I don't see a lot of radios that have APRS built in and stuff. Personally, I think that's it's a bit overkill. And yeah, that's all I really have. Back to net.
Well, the Yaesu has a APRS in from the 3D 5R to 3D and to the 5DR, and most of their mobile units have APRS built in.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Thanks there, Jonathan's CFT and SUM for the follow-up there. As CFT mentioned, the ICOM ID52A, similar in price. So, I mean, we definitely know that ham radio is an expensive hobby, but we sometimes often look at the costs of Baofangs and things like that being sub $50 and then tenfold, especially for a handheld, is hard to swallow. But sometimes this hobby is the demographics are of those of people in retirement and that can potentially spend these prices. So Robert Pickett in the chat also mentioned that this has potentially a full-blown TNC built into it, the THD75A. So it looks like it's rife with quite a lot of the, or not rife, it includes a lot of the technologies that we certainly would like to see in future generations and models of these handhelds, whether it be Bluetooth, APRS, USB, D-Star, and TNC capabilities. So yeah, it's if you're looking for kind of an all-in-one, this is maybe kind of like a handheld HT version of a Shack-in-a-Box, kind of. But yeah, I'll throw it out to the group. Kenwood THD75A, tri-band handheld transceiver, retailing for $750. Anyone else on that? Go right ahead.
Well, Jerome, it sounded like you were encouraging me to spend my IRA in my retirement. Get used to zero issue.
This is K1 DVC Net Control. Several years, 30 plus years for me going on until I see retirement age, or not age, but that place. But you know, we live in a consumerist society, and you know, we can vote with our wallets, and we can vote with emails to Kenwood and let them know our feelings one way or the other. And you know, this might be kind of an outlier, and you know, sometimes with some of these bleeding edge things, it will be expensive at first, and then over time, we'll gradually see these options in lower priced HTs, even as we do now. So, and someone also mentioned maybe it's the Kenwood name that is justifying that cost as well. So, yeah. Anyone else? Yeah, ham radio can be expensive. If anybody has any comments and questions on that, you know, definitely, you know, research as we've always talked about. And yeah, let us know. Anyone else on that? Go right ahead. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. And there is an asterisk on that cost. It says after coupons and promotions. I wonder what the manufacturing cost of that is without those. Hopefully not too much more. But yeah, it would be great door prize, Ed mentioned there for HamFest 2024. Somebody would be super lucky to get that. So this is K1 DBC Net Control. I guess I really didn't read too much of a blurb on this. I can do that here.
Well, these guys are awfully quiet, but I have another question, Daron. Yes, you have.
All right, sounds good there, Jonathan. I'll come back to you in just a second. So the D75A description, introducing the next phase in evolution of handheld transceiver, featuring simultaneous reception of two D-Star signals, reflector terminal mode, and APRS standalone digipeater. Following on from the D74, it adds many useful features such as simultaneous reception, again, two D-Star signals, reflector terminal mode for accessing D-Star reflectors, enhanced avoidance, guidance, and digipeater function. Also been further enhanced with adoption of USB-C, Bluetooth headset, push-to-talk, fully ergonomic design. So that a little bit more blurb on that. So yeah, Jonathan, SUM, go right ahead.
8 p.m.
Oh, the nice lady said it was 8 p.m. Thanks, Drone. Well, my next question would be, when you have a mobile setup, I'm not so much interested in your antenna, I'm interested in the radios or radio and what you listen to when you're mobile. When I'm mobile, I use strictly VHF. I have a number of mobile radios. For a long time, I just used an HT in the car with a mag mount, which I really, really liked. But how many people run HF, or do you like VHF or VHF, UHF mobile with dual band receive? You guys know what I'm talking about. KE0, SUM, back to now.
All right, good question there. And then I think Ed Reed had something there. Let me see if you... Yeah, AE0YR. Go right ahead.
So I run a Yaesu 400 XDR, and that's got the A and the B channel on it. And so I just monitor the 5.2 on the top channel. On the bottom channel, I run APERS, so that my beacon goes out and people know I'm around, and then I get everybody else's beacon, particularly when I'm on a long drive. Like I'll drive across the country a couple times a year, so I just run it that way because it's easier than, dialing into local repeaters when you're on the fly. And I've made contacts that way. I've had people say, hey, I saw you fly by. Figured I'd say hello. 5.2 on the one channel and APRS on the other.
So did they just see your antenna, or do you advertise you're on the 5.2?
W0TX repeater.
You can put a little, on that 400, you can put a little, when your beacon goes out, you can get a little quick, like one line of information, and I put on there that I'm monitoring 146.52.
I'm at KM4 CFT.
All right, thanks there, Ed, for that follow-up. AE0YR, and then we had CFT. Jonathan, go ahead.
This is KM4 CFT. I actually have, recently I installed this for my birthday, which was last November, but I have 2 radios installed in my vehicle. One is a Yaesu FT891 that I've had for a little bit, and that's connected to a Yaesu ATOS 120A screwdriver antenna. And I use that because sometimes I like to do parks on the air, and it's like freezing, really cold out. So it's nice to have that for spontaneous HF activation. And then for my VHF, UHF, I also use just like the other person was talking, I use an FTM 400, and I monitor both 146.52 and the W0TX repeater, or any other repeater that might be working. And that's it. I'm back to net.
That's a wonderful setup. How do you have the ATAS mounted?
I have it mounted to the trunk of my car. My car is a Subaru Crosstrek, a pretty new one. I've got a lip mount attached to the back. Just happens that right below the tail light, there's just enough room for the lip mount. I forget who makes the lip mount, but it's the one that most people use for that setup. Let me let the repeater drop real quick. And the only modification I had to do to that lip mount is I took a pair of bolt cutters and cut a corner of the lip mount because it was just rubbing up against the paint job, and I didn't want my nice paint job being scratched up. So I did that and then used the paint marker to prevent it from rusting or anything. And then I ran the cable to underneath my passenger seat. That seems to work pretty well. I'm even able to get 40 meters perfect match on that.
Oh, thanks for telling me your setup. You're a true ham, my friend. KE0SUM, back to you, drone.
That is no problem, and if you want pictures of it, I can. If you're on the club Discord, you can always message me, and I can send you pictures of it.
Oh, I see the pictures. Oh, that's really inventive. Very nice. You'd like to cross-check?
I definitely enjoy having it around. I've I learned to drive on a Subaru Outback, so when I moved here, I decided the first thing I was going to do was sell my Corolla and get a Crosstrek so that all-wheel drive, and so that was pretty nice. So yeah.
I've had a couple Subarus, really liked them, a couple Toyotas, but now I'm so advanced I have a 1999 Lexus RX 300 that works great, but we're digressing, so I'll just throw it back to drone, KE0SUM.
Oh, that bing. This is K1 DVC Net Control. All right, I do have a photo brought up here from the Discord server. Really do appreciate that, Jonathan KM4CFT, from a post. It looks like November 27th. It looks like so pretty cool follow up there. You can see the ATAS 120, just as you mentioned, just below the lower right lights on the rear of the vehicle there on the Crosstrek. So really cool setup there. Thank you.
Yeah, and I actually ended up cutting myself because I had to pull back the panel, the trim panel underneath on the hatch, and I was not used to that. It was also well below freezing out, so that made it really difficult for me.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, wounds of war sometimes, battle scars. So glad to see and hear, though, at least it's mounted and working well, though. So another photo as well, it looks like, from the inside of the FT891 is mentioned there, as well as the that other radio as well, the whatever that other one was, the 400 XDR. So some pretty cool photos and setup there. Really do appreciate that. So yeah, anyone else on that? Mobile setups, mobile listening, as mentioned, a lot of people are monitoring either a club repeater and or a national simplex calling frequency 14652 or other repeaters, and then have APRS capability set up either on one of those two or outside of that. So yeah, good question, SUM Jonathan. Anyone else on the topic of mobile radio operations setup, HF on the mobile, on the go? Anyone else? Go right ahead.
Comment, SUM.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. I'm just spying on Jonathan's stuff here in his vehicle here. But we had Jonathan SUM with another question. Go right ahead.
That's kind of more of a comment. I've lived here for 40-some years, but my relatives all live back in Iowa and Illinois, so every year I go back to see them. So as a ham, I think you can't. People come in and say, I want the radio, and I'm going to put in a whole bunch of repeaters in a memory bank, and when I'm going across Nebraska, I'll just scan those. The problem in my mind is that I let my daughter drive, so we're usually doing, let's say, just 80 plus across I-80. So you're moving so fast, you're going to go in and out of repeater range way too quickly. So I have listened to Vive 2 across, but I've rarely called out. But I don't know that it's a practical way, maybe digitally, but normally you're moving too fast between places. So the Vive 2 is probably my recommendation as I think about it. KE0SUM, back to you.
That is a great comment there. You know, we definitely have spoken about this topic specifically, traveling throughout the United States or wherever and pre-programming repeaters in. And as you mentioned there, the issue might be just you're traveling at such a rate of speed that you're just, the scanning functionality is just, it may not just pick up those repeaters or maybe too late. So yeah, as you mentioned, the national simplex frequency is pretty good to listen to. I'm just looking at some suggestions here online. Let me drop for a moment. yeah, these are from about 7 years ago. So using kind of the same methodology, what we were just talking about, pre-programming repeaters. But as we come to find out, that might be not the best way to do so. Maybe if you stop in a place for a long time, someone mentions here, listen to the repeater for 15 minutes. If you're driving at 70 miles per hour, your range of a repeater placed perfectly next to your driving route will be a short amount of time. They suggest go on Simplex during the drive, get a sticker on the back of your vehicle. Join me on 14652. This person drives from Wisconsin to Florida, randomly calling CQ and scans frequency, and have only made a handful of contacts. Best part was just listening to others. Heard a great possum recipe in Tennessee. Yeah, for those who are traveling, I don't know really what a good technical solution is. Unless you're stopping in places for a certain amount of time. But yeah, good comments, good questions on there, Jonathan, SUM. And anyone else on that topic, go right ahead.
I will say, when traveling and using the 14652, it helps to, I've taken handhelds in the car. Well, you're only doing 5 watts. I also have an FTM, FTM 80 watts. So if you're going to do simplex, you need to throw out pretty much as many watts as you can to see if that's going to work into whichever antenna you choose to use. Just my thought. K0 SUM, back to that.
Good question there. Yeah, good follow-up there, Jonathan, SUM. Yeah, appreciate that. So yeah, I haven't traveled much in the last few years, especially by car. So yeah, I don't know on that. So yeah, anyone else on that? We have another 20 minutes or so. Any other comments, questions, check-ins so far? Please call now.
LEI.
You guys have been busy in the Discord. I really love seeing this. This is K1 DBC Net Control. We had LAI in there. I just want to throw out a shout out to our club Discord, w0tx.org/Discord. Really lively community, and I really do appreciate everyone's keeping that community active. It is a chat room, so if you like what we talk about here during the Learning Net, this is just a continued discussion throughout the week. So really do appreciate everyone's lively activity in that. So K0LAI Larry, go right ahead.
This is K0LAI. I think Jonathan's right about if you're programming a bunch of repeaters on a route, you're not going to get very much time on them. Ones that are like system linked, like Kansas used to have a linked system, and of course Colorado's got the Colorado Central connection, or Colorado connection, and those linked, that helps because you can actually go from repeater to repeater and keep talking to people that are within that. And I've done that before in Kansas. But the 146.520 idea is a good one, and I do that on a second radio. And then I do the APRS and the UHF of some sort on the APRS radio. So, but when you get to a destination, yes, then you want to have probably program in a bunch of repeaters. K0LAI, back to net.
All right, thanks for the follow-up there, Larry, K0LAI. Yeah, reiterating some of what we were just talking about there in terms of monitoring whether it be APRS or national simplex frequencies if you're traveling, and then if you're going to a destination, definitely pre-program in some repeaters. So definitely appreciate that. I know also on APRS, people have used APRS, the frequency 144.39, as a way of putting out a voice call potentially. I don't know exactly what, but basically maybe just calling out on that. I don't know if that, I can't remember if that band allows that or not, but I've heard using APRS frequencies to check in who's around and things like that. So this is K1 DBC Net Control. We have another 15 minutes or so here. Let me drop here for a moment. Ed Reed in the chat here, AE0YR, mentioned going the FTM 400 from Bofang up the watts from 50 from 5. So it definitely helped. Yeah, as we were mentioning, if you're doing any simplex calling, the more power that you can throw at it, the better. So yeah, anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins, another 15 minutes or so, please call now.
Here for a very late
win the
check-in
Super Bowl?
NPS.
Non-radio related comment.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I had a few voices in there. The last one I heard was Jonathan with a comment. We'll come back to here in a minute. And then there were two other people in there. I guess one at a time, if you can. I'll go ahead and call back in.
Hey, Duran. Appreciate you hosting the net. Caught it very late tonight, but just a late check-in. Kilo Foxtrot 0, Nevada, Papa Sierra, Paul and Littleton. Good evening, everyone.
All right, KF0 NPS, Paul, got you checked in. If anyone else was trying to get in there just a few seconds, 30 seconds ago or so, and you don't hear your call sign NPS or SUM and you were trying to call in, go right ahead. All right, nothing heard just at the moment. Glad to hear you in there, Paul. KF0 NPS, good evening. Glad to hear you on the net here. And then Jonathan, KE0SUM with another comment. Go right ahead.
Oh, never mind, Jerome. It was not relevant. KE0SUM, back to net.
All right, not a problem, SUM. This is a safe space. We don't necessarily always have to talk about ham radio related topics exactly, but if you ever want to bring something up, you or anyone else, if you feel free to do so here, or again, if you want to text me or call me, don't hesitate to do so, and we can discuss offline or plenty of other options. So yeah, no worries. This is K1DBC Net Control. Anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins, please call now.
Okay, Jerome, here's what I ask you. Is not radio related, and everybody listening probably has it on their mind. Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Good question there, Jonathan. SUM. Yeah, I am a nerd and a dork. So as it stands in my Bible, I don't really follow sport too much. But if anyone is a fan out there, there is a lot of interesting electronics and a lot of really cool engineering that goes into the Super Bowl and big sports. So if you're interested in that, check that out. Broadcast engineering is pretty cool, but I'm not a sports nerd, stats on that. So I don't know. I haven't really been following it this year. Anyone else on that? Go ahead.
I remember one of my kids was watching a football game on TV a few years ago, and they're like, how do they get these camera shots? And they didn't realize there were really thin steel wires above the field with the obviously wonderful cameras with the axis and everything works, but they didn't realize that.
All right.
Of course, that doesn't matter. Who's going to win the Super Bowl? I'm from Iowa, so we had no pro teams. Used to root for usually Minnesota, but this year I'd have to root for the Chiefs, I suppose.
Yeah, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Yeah, I don't know on that between those two teams here. Yeah, as Robert Pickett mentioned, into that one team. Yep, exactly. For those of us that don't follow, these are really high-paid sportsmen, and but they definitely go through a lot. So I definitely, from a sports perspective, I really love a sports film. remember the Titans, things like that. These are really kind of really good heartfelt moments. So I'm rooting for the best on both sides. I'm sure people have trained quite a lot. So this is K1 DBC Net Control. Anyone else on that? I can bring up some of the information on the broadcast engineering part, some of their cameras and things like that they're using. But anyone else on that, go right ahead.
W0TX repeater.
Come on, Drone. I've got to tease or rib you just a little bit. You do know who Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are, right?
I've heard of Taylor Swift. Yes. Go ahead.
Well, okay. You're such a nerd. I really like talking to you. KU0SUM.
Thank you there, Jonathan. Yeah, sports have just never been my thing. I don't know. But there is probably a lot of aspects I could get out of it, but just never been my thing, unfortunately. But yeah, really cool. On this, let's see, CBS Sports will deploy a range of broadcast technology, including 165 total cameras, 48 featuring super slow-mo capability. Marked the first time CBS Sports has a telecast Super Bowl in 1080 and 4K. Of the 448 super slow-mo cameras, 24 will feature 4K zoom extraction. Record number. Let's see. A lot of really cool stuff that goes into this. So, I've always been interested in broadcast engineering in general. So, in terms of that aspect, I really do have a love of some of these bigger sports things. So, yeah. But and then Ed Reed, I think, mentioned, let me see. Ed mentioned good day to do POTA soda on the air. And a couple of other responses. But anyone else on that, go right ahead. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Let's see, Ben Rutledge, let me see. Sorry, KF0NAT asked a question in the chat here about making contact with the International Space Station. Yeah, great question there. Yeah, I have not. I know in terms of APRS, you can digipeat to that. You can change your wide 1, wide 2 settings to include the Eris space station. So that's kind of a fairly easy way to make contact. But I have not, but I'll throw it out to the group. Eris ISS contacts, go right ahead. Sorry, Ben. All right, I think there was somebody maybe trying to call in there. If someone trying to call in about contacting the International Space Station for different means through ham radio, please call now.
WG0LFR.
WG0LFR, Chance, thanks for checking in here. And the tool that we're using doesn't seem to have your call sign yet updated, but I got you checked in there. If you have any comments or questions on that, go ahead.
I'm currently mobile, so hopefully you guys can hear me, but I just on Monday I got an Aero antenna dual band Yagi, and the first day on Tuesday afternoon I made a contact through the ISS on the FM repeater, and I've since been tracking 2 other ham satellites and made a contact through one of those as well. Once you get the radio dialed in and the antenna pointed the right direction, it's surprisingly easy, actually. WG0LFR.
So, what's your Aero duplexer and what radio? KE0SUM.
The antenna is a duplexer, and I was using an FT60 handheld.
Very nice. So you're using a handheld Yagi with the arrow?
Correct, and I wish I had more hands. One hand on the radio, one hand on the antenna, and trying to work the phone to take a video of the whole thing.
Perfect, thanks for the info. KE0SUM back to it.
All right, sounds good there. Ben, if you have any follow-up on that, he's following up through the YouTube channel here. Hopefully you heard that there. So, yeah, hopefully it doesn't sound like actually that, expensive, quite frankly, compared to some of the other things we were talking about. So the Arrow antenna there, the dual band, looks like it's anywhere from $130 to $200 or something, depending on the options you're picking. And then the mentioned the Yaesu FT60R there, about $150 dual band handheld. So yeah, really cool stuff there. This is K1DBC Net Control. Doug also mentioned in the chat here he's heard traffic on 437.800. ISS cross mode downlink, but has never made contact himself. Let me see. Ben also mentioned he's received single slow scan television from the ISS, but hasn't made a QSO. So yeah, don't think it's out of the realm to really contact the International Space Station, as just mentioned there. It's a fairly arbitrary operation. So this is K1DBC Net Control. Yeah, thanks for the follow-up there, everyone. Anyone other comments, questions, check-ins on that, please call now.
More comment from LFR.
Yeah, Chance, LFR, go ahead.
I also listened and heard the downlink from ISS on FM a couple times before I got the Yagi, and I found that having about 5 different memories programmed into the radio with some offset on the downlink by about 5 kilohertz to correct for the Doppler effect made a huge difference. I could only hear it when it was directly above on the primary channel, and when I set the Doppler shift channels, you can hear it all the way across the sky clear as day. So that was really the key for satellite communication, in my opinion. W20LFR.
Yes, absolutely. Our old friend Doppler effect, absolutely. And making adjustments for that on the fly is quite tricky. I think Ed Reed, AE0YR, and Sarah N4NYX, she's since moved, but during our last field day, I think they did some demonstrations of satellite operations, and that's something they mentioned, as well as the Doppler effect. So, yeah, great follow-up there, LFR. Anyone else? We have another few minutes here to the net. Any other comments, questions, check-ins? Please go on there. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. It is 8:29 p.m. Just nearing the end of the net. There is no hard stop, but we've had 22 check-ins so far. Pretty good breadth of topics that we've covered. YouTube.com/Denver Radio Club. I haven't updated a lot of the descriptions, but it's a good way to go back and listen to what we've talked about in the past meetings, things like that. So this is a K1DBC Net Control. Yeah, great topics of conversation here so far. Anything else? Anyone else? Any other comments, questions? This will probably be the second to last call. Any other comments, questions, check-ins? Please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Real quick, we'll cover some club business, and then I'll put it out to the group. Any last-minute comments, questions, check-ins. W0tx.org for more information on our club. Our website has been updated slightly in terms of the performance, so it should work quite a bit better for you all there. Upcoming meeting, it's going to be on the 21st. And let's see, in the recent newsletter, the roundtable, it was shown that it's going to be John Portune, W6NBC. He's going to be subject will be simple Yagi design. He's always interesting and easy to understand topics. So mark your calendars, the 21st, over on our website, w0tx.org, for the link to that. Let's see, as mentioned, also Mark Thomas has been putting some articles up here. Really do appreciate that. Nerdfest, Saturday, February 10th. So this coming Saturday. Let me see. RMHAM University's Nerdfest schedule has been posted. Great event. You'll need to sign up on their website, rmham.org. Talks by some folks that have talked to us before, as well as other hams. Let me see. Chris, K0SWE, small rotators for AMSET. Willem, AC0KQ. Kalman, next generation for Allman, all-star monitoring, I believe. Another talk by Chris, K0SWE, WNAW/0, Colorado Planning and Operations. Surface mount reflow at home, talk given by Dave, WA1JHK. Few more topics here. Presentations. Tristan, NM0TH, is talking about GitHub for ham radios, so software versioning. Glenn, KE0UWC, Chasing Balloons, overview of Edge of Space Sciences, and John, W0VGW, it will give information on ICOM remote control and Stream Deck. So really cool article on that. Really do appreciate Mark for putting that out there. So rmham.org for more information on their upcoming Nerdfest. Yeah, a few more articles here. The RMHAM Swap Fest is coming up February 18th, weekend after this. Doors open at 9, open until 1. So you can find out more information on rmham.org for that Hamfest Swap Fest. All right, we're again on most social media, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, more or less. These are all, at least Facebook and Twitter, more or less just automated notifications given out for when we go live. But you're more than welcome to ask questions on there. Again, Discord, w0tx.org/Discord. Really do appreciate everyone continuing to help us keep that going along here. So if you've enjoyed, again, the topics that we've talked about during this Learning Net and past Learning Nets and past nets, this is just another conversation throughout the week. So you can post your comments, questions on there if you'd like. Again, w0tx.org/Discord. This is K1DBC Net Control. Again, w0tx.org/check-in. You can always follow along with people who have checked in. This tool is free to use. If you have a Google account, you just sign in and then you can make a copy of it. You can use this if you're a net control operator or if you're just taking check-ins throughout your own personal radio operations. So it has been updated quite a bit here in the last few weeks. It's a bit more automated in that from a net control operator perspective, you just put in all the information and it pops out just like normal, but then it automatically copies everything to past net kind of archives. So make a copy for yourself if you'd like, or if you want to act as a net control operator for our group, we're more than happy to share access to that as well. So this is K1DBC Net Control. I'll throw it out to the group. This will be the last call for check-ins, comments, questions. Please call now. Okay, nothing heard. We will close out the net here. Let me get back to the script and we'll close things out. All right, again, thanks everyone for checking in here this evening. Again, total of 22 check-ins. Appreciate everyone's participation as always. Again, our regular meeting is 6 p.m. or excuse me, third Wednesday of the month. So again, that'll be the 21st. Couple weeks from now. At 6 p.m. there's an Elmers session similar to this, just a general Q&A, and then 7 p.m. the meeting takes place. So with that, join us next week, 19:30, 7 p.m. for the next Learning Net. This is K1DBC 73, and I will be clear. Thanks again, everyone. We'll see you all next time. All right, thanks everyone, and we'll talk to you next week.